I want to help you guys become better graphic designers, and that's why I have decided to start a series about the design principles. And in this video, we are going to look into the first principle, which I consider the most important, and that is hierarchy. We will discover what hierarchy is, how to use it, what it will help you to achieve, and I will be digging into our Facebook community to find some good and bad examples on how to use hierarchy. Let's go. What is up guys, Ronnie here, welcome back to the channel. I'm really happy to start this new series with you guys about the design principles because this will bring us back to the basics and really hopefully set some healthy foundations for you to become a better graphic designer. This first episode is going to be about hierarchy, but make sure you check the other episodes in the playlist because there are a bunch of design principles. So make sure to check that out. All right, let's jump into Canva and start discovering what hierarchy is all about and how it will help you become a better designer. So hierarchy is, if we could summarize it in one simple sentence, hierarchy is the art of creating an order of importance in your design. By that, I mean, when you design something, you really need to set some goals for your design, for your message. What are you trying to communicate? And thus, in that context, creating hierarchy in your design means organizing the elements of that design in order to create a specific order in which your viewer, the intended viewer, will discover the information, will come across the important pieces of information in your design. Hierarchy will basically allow you to achieve two goals while designing. The first goal is that hierarchy will help you grab and direct the attention of the viewer. So you will be able to create an order in which a viewer will discover your design through hierarchy. And we are going to be looking at examples in a second, so hang on. I just want to cover the second goal, the second important goal that hierarchy will help you achieve, and that is to make the information easier to digest on a piece of design. Because it is properly organized and there is a clear hierarchy, people who look at that design will understand it. They will understand what to look at first, second, and third, and therefore process that information much easier. They won't have to find or figure out the pathway. It will be obvious. So these are the two main goals. First, to grab and direct the attention to wherever you as the creator want to bring it, and in the order you want to bring it. And second, to help the viewer digest the information faster. So these are the two main things that hierarchy will allow you to achieve as a designer. When you start a design, it is very important that you take the time to really ask yourself what's important here. If everything on your page kind of looks the same and of the same importance, then de facto nothing appears to be more important than the other things. And this is not particularly a place you want to go when you design something. You want to give your viewer visual clues about what they should look at first, second, and third on your page to really create that order, to create that order of importance. And these visual clues to create importance, to create hierarchy, can be of two types. You can create hierarchy with scale or size, and you can create hierarchy with colors. So at this stage, I would like to start showing you some examples. I have selected designs that use both good and bad hierarchy to show you the difference, but also to try to explain the subtle concept of hierarchy with visuals instead of words. So let's have a look at these examples. We will start with designs creating hierarchy using size or scale. All right, so this is the first design. I fetched it from our Facebook community, and I'm not here to throw the rock at anyone, to blame anyone, or to ridicule anyone. This is really not my point. My point is to find a design that, in my opinion, didn't really respect the rules of hierarchy. There is no scaling of the different elements that would guide me to look at one particular piece of information first, second, and third. Okay, when I look at this design, maybe I will be driven by the color yellow and look at the text in the middle, but then I'm not sure what to look at second and third because the text boxes pretty much have the same size and they don't really stand out from one another. So I would say here, there is no proper scaling of all of this text so that I understand what I need to read first. I kind of understood, but not for scale, but mostly for color. But then I'm a bit lost. Now let's look at a good example. So if you take the time to read the information on this flyer or this poster, you will understand it is for a webinar. So what I did, I went into the Canva library, the template library, and I started searching for webinar flyers. And then I tried to really find one that was kind of the opposite, that was using scale properly this time in order to create that hierarchy. And this is what I came up with. So when I look at that flyer, unlike the other one, there is a clear box right here that really attracts my attention. And that is the one text that is bigger than everything else, and that is bolded. So you can either play with scale, so that is the size of your text, or you can also play with the weight of your text. So you can bold your text to give this text a little bit more presence, a little bit more importance, okay? So here it is very obvious that the first thing I read is marketing strategy. And then the second thing is probably the photo of Kyrie. Okay, Kyrie is the marketing expert who is going to be delivering the webinar, because the photo takes up a large part of the design. It has a white outline, so my eyes are immediately attracted to this photo as well. And then I will probably read his name, Kyrie Petrakis, marketing expert, and then I will continue scanning this document down to come to the word join our next webinar, and then the time, the date, and the call to action. So unlike the previous design, this one had a clear hierarchy created with scale. Okay, so by scaling the different text boxes in different ways, they were able to create a clear pathway for me to discover this document. Let me show you a second example. So again, this is the bad example. And again, no blame right here. It's just like purely educational material that I'm trying to teach you here something. Look at this one. It is a flyer for a massage place with a description of the different massages or the different services that this place offers. Okay, but again, like everything kind of seems to have the same importance here. Maybe RM mobile massage is slightly bigger than the rest, but then everything is kind of the same. So my intuition would just be to read it from top to bottom, but it might not be the best way to read this flyer. I don't know, because there was no hierarchy created with scale. But let me show you another design that I found by searching in the Canva template library for the same kind of services or business, so a spa or massage place. And this is what I found, okay? So this one does have hierarchy. I am directly attracted to the photo on top. Okay, so this is right here, the photo of the lady and the hands massaging her face is what I looked at first. And then I looked at this box right here, massage and spa, because it is in the big colored box and the font is slightly bigger. I see 50% off, so I thought, okay, this is a coupon or something similar. And then I can start discovering the different services and come to the contact us right here at the bottom, which is the call to action, which is what the business owners want the person reading the flyer to do, is to contact them. So I found this second flyer much more efficient in terms of driving my eyes to a specific call to action and also helping me understand where to look at first. Here there is a big photo, but if I look here, then after I'm not sure where to start, maybe here. On the other hand, this flyer is much more fluid, like it drives my attention, it's more harmonious and it drives my attention to where it needs to go. So coming back to our presentation, text hierarchy is really important, and that is the art or the action of using different sizes for your typography or sometimes attributes like bolding, italic, etc. to really focus on certain pieces of information. And by all means, that means that before you even start designing, you will have to really figure out, you will have to map out your content hierarchy. So that could be as simple as taking a sheet of paper and writing the 4 or 5 pieces of information or blocks of information that need to go on your poster, your flyer, or whatever you are designing, and organizing them in terms of what's the most important one. Because only once you know that can you properly scale these elements on your page. So very important to map out the hierarchy of your information before you start designing. And then I'm pretty sure you already know that, but Canva has some tools for you in order to create these text hierarchy. If you click on the little text icon right here, the text tab in the editor, you will find these three little text box hierarchy right here that you can set up if you are a Canva Pro user. If not, then you will have to do that manually. But these texts right here are already kind of like created. You have your headings, your subheadings, and your text body. So Pro users will be able to change these attributes for each of the three categories, the three levels, I would say, of your hierarchy. So this is pretty interesting to help you save time basically when you design. The next thing I want to talk about is that you can also create hierarchy by scaling not your text, your typography, but the elements of your design. And as a general rule, the bigger the element in your design, the more important it should be. Right? It shouldn't be a coincidence that a piece or an element of your design is bigger than another one. That should be a deliberate decision because you believe the bigger element is more important than the smaller element. Okay, let me illustrate that with another example. So this is the example I would like to use for this one. You see a couple of different elements on this design for a gas station, service station, and I see a bunch of different icons, I see a logo, I see text boxes, and I see a photo on top. So the photo on top is probably the one thing that will attract my eye, but then all of these logos have kind of the same size, and the text boxes, there's a big logo. It's not completely clear what I should focus on first, okay? Now, let me show you what a better design would be for such a visual for a service station. So this is me quickly revamping this previous design. And you see, I kept the idea of having a big header with the service station, the gas station, the photo, but then I brought the logo up, so that's the second thing I see. And the name Indian Oil, which is the name of the company, is also needs to be predominant on this design. So I organized these pieces of information like so. Next, I have organized my different icons right here that correspond to the icons I had here, with a little bit of information. And then I have some text here, and then at the bottom, the contact details and some additional information. But if I look at this design, I start pretty much from top to bottom. I start with the big visual, and then maybe I read the text, or I look at the logo, I discover the icons, and then I move to this text right here. And then I stumble upon my calls to action right here that are how to get to this gas station or contact the gas station. So I believe this quick redesign of this flyer right here, by simply rearranging and scaling the different elements slightly differently, will give a more fluid understanding of the information. Remember, one of the two goals of hierarchy, to make the information easier to digest. I feel the information on this flyer is much easier to digest than the one on this flyer. Okay, let's come back to our presentation and this time start talking about creating hierarchy with colors. The idea here is that some colors are better than others at grabbing the viewer's attention. Okay, I'm talking about colors like red, orange, or yellow. These colors will do a much better job at catching your viewer's attention in a design. The color red in particular is very attention grabbing, and that is probably why most of the road signs that are very important, like a stop sign, will use the red color. Similarly, when you look at the apps on your phone, when you receive a notification, like on Facebook, for example, or Instagram or LinkedIn, you will have a little red dot near your messages or near your contact, indicating you that there is something here. It will grab your attention. If this dot was another color, like blue, for example, not sure it will trigger the same reaction. So there are some colors that will by default attract the eye of the viewer on a design. So you should definitely learn more about the psychology of color. There's a ton of information online about this, but just know that you can create hierarchy by using specific colors on your design. Let me show you an example. So here I have this simple design right here, which is a flyer, something that a restaurant would put in your mailbox, and it says now available online. Okay, so using the scale or the size of the text to really mention to people, okay, this is what you want to read first. And then I have a big visual, so again, scale, like a big visual of the pancake, so my eyes directly go there. And then I will probably read the logo and the tagline, your breakfast alley favorites, okay? Because it's right there on top of what I was reading. And then my eyes will progressively move down and probably read the part in red, okay? Really great site for food.com, so that's obviously a dummy site. But because I'm using the red color, my eyes will be attracted to this color first. And then I will be reading the last little part right here in yellow. You can safely and easily order your ready to eat and cook at home meals. So this is a quick example of how using color, and particularly the yellow for the background and the red color for this important piece of information, the website, because you can now order online, we need the website to be able to order online. So it is kind of like the call to action. I use the red color so it attracts the eye of the viewer. And then I have this other example right here illustrating how you can use color in a different way to attract people's attention. And that is a technique that I love using. I've been using this one for a very long time. And this consists of having a black and white visual or desaturated visual. So there's no color, like the photo of this athlete right here, ready to go, like ready to race. And then you use a single color to catch people's attention. So you have only one touch of color on the entire design, and this is where people will look. Okay, so look here and then read this. This is a common trick, and this probably ties into another design principle, which is contrast, which we will talk about in another episode of the series. So by all means, if you haven't yet checked out the rest of the series, we will have a link in the description, and also at the end of the video, I will have a card for you to click to the rest of the playlist, because this is not the only design principle. If you want to become great at graphic design, you will have to master and understand all of the design principles. This episode is only about hierarchy. And by all means, if you are learning from this video, give us a like and let me know in the comments. Do you like this new style of videos? Me teaching you about the design principles? Is that something that will help you maybe become a better designer? I'm really curious because this is a new series, and as always, I'd love to get your feedback. So let me know if I should continue producing the other episodes, and maybe tell me which design principles you'd like to learn more about. And I will start digging and researching and putting together another episode of this series. All right, back to the video. I have one more point to cover, and that is really a piece of advice that I have for you, because hierarchy is to be found everywhere in graphic design, okay? So I would like you to pay attention the next time you read a newspaper, you read a magazine, you look at a poster, you scroll the Canva template library, you look at a post that you found well done on social media, or anything really in your environment. If you're looking at the Netflix homepage, for example, there is hierarchy going on, and this at different levels. Like if you take any book in your library and you look at the cover, there will be hierarchy going on. So I would like you to start paying attention and to start implementing the very simple rules I taught you in this video to create hierarchy with size and to create hierarchy with colors. And most importantly, before you start designing, map out the hierarchy of the different pieces of information you want to convey with your design, with your message. And never forget that what you are trying to achieve is that this piece of information that you have decided is the most important. You want that piece of information to jump off the page, to really jump at the face of the person viewing your design, and that person understanding very quickly, this is the most important thing here. This is the main message. I hope you enjoyed this video about hierarchy, which is the first of our series about the design principles. And I will leave you a link right here so you can continue to learn about the design principles with the rest of the series. I will see you there.